So the first thing that it's going to do when it gets this extra supplementation to the Cb2 receptors in your endocannabinoid system is start to fix the liver, because your body knows what's wrong and it knows what it needs to fix first. So once it gets the liver working better, then it can start to look at what's next. How is your kidneys working? How's your heart working? How's your brain working? And getting all of the really top priority issues fixed, and then it might get to the back pain.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, where we discuss this miracle plant that helps people in such extraordinary ways. We are broadcasting live from Clubhouse here at 10 a.m. on Saturday for the whole world to hear. And today we're going to discuss, does CBD really work? And of course, we use that as a title to get people interested, because I know that's a question that lots of people have, is does CBD actually work? And there's been so much information, and there's been so much just products that are out there, and misinformation and confusion and all those kinds of things. And we wanted to discuss today CBD and just really help people understand it on a real fundamental level, so they can speak intelligently to others, and they can also make good decisions for their own health or for the health of another loved one. So basically, with CBD, it comes down to, well, does CBD work? And I always say there's two reasons why CBD doesn't work. The first reason is that you're not getting a true CBD product. You're not getting a product that represents the plant, whether you call it cannabis or hemp or sativa or indica or any of those other names out there. You need to make sure that you're getting a product that represents the plant. So if you went to go get orange juice at the grocery store, but all you got was a clear liquid that was pure vitamin C, isolated vitamin C, that's not orange juice, right? That's one piece of orange juice. So what you need to make sure is that you're getting a product that gets the whole plant, where CBD comes from. Because CBD, again, is a very powerful part of the plant. It's a very powerful cannabinoid, but it is just one part of the entire plant. As we've talked about here, there's over 500 pieces of the plant. So if you look at it like a symphony, like a 500-piece New York symphony, all playing together, these beautiful Mozart songs, and there's this one violinist or yo-yo ma, cello, and they're really good by themselves, and they're really good. But when you put them with 500 of the other best, and they play that, concerto, and it's absolutely brilliant and breathtaking, that's what you get when you consume the whole plant, not just one part of the plant. Look, we all understand the pharmaceutical model, where you take one molecule, single isolated molecule that you can run through FDA tests. And yes, it's repeatable, but at the end of the day, that's not how our body works. There is nothing in nature that is one molecule. Not even water is one molecule. So what you have to make sure is that when you're trying to supplement your body nutritionally, that you're consuming the entire plant the way it was grown. That's how our bodies interpret the plant. That's how you get the most absorption. That's how you get the absolute most that this plant has to offer. And our bodies have this endocannabinoid system in the body that are set up to receive cannabinoids and flavonoids in the plant, and terpenes, and amino acids, and omega-3s, and chlorophyll, and all these other things that make up this plant, which will actually help supplement and boost the endocannabinoid system, which will help balance all other systems in the body. So that's the first thing. Two reasons why CBD doesn't work. Number one, you're not getting a product that represents the plant. So you're getting some knockoff, some isolated, some heated, some type of just pharmaceutical type model or old school way of producing the product. Or the second reason why CBD doesn't work is you're not taking enough consistently. So look, the situation that you're in, whether with your health or your loved one's health, chances are it happened over time, right? If it's an autoimmune disease, if it's some other type of serious ailment, it didn't happen overnight. Now, look, it's nature versus nurture. We have our genes that make us up, and we have the environment around us that shapes us. Now, we live today in a very different world than we did 50 or 60 years ago. There have been major changes in the food that we consume, in the water that we drink, in the air that we breathe, in the things that we feed the livestock that we eat, in the pesticides and the things that we put in the ground, and the way that we make our food has all had humongous changes in the last 50 or so years. Now, these massive changes have affected our health because you truly are what you eat. If you're growing your own food in your backyard, like we used to do 50, 60, 70 years ago, then you know that you wouldn't squirt Roundup on your tomatoes. Because as we all know now, the part of Roundup that is been proven, and they've lost cases in court now, to cause cancer. So you wouldn't give yourself cancer on purpose. What you would do is make sure that you're using organic practices, because you would realize I can't put something on this plant that could kill me. And unfortunately, that's not how it works with the massive farms and all of those things that are out there. So our bodies have taken some serious body punch, whether it's pesticides or all the heavy metals that are in the ground and all of the toxins and things of that nature. So that's why we're hearing about all of these different diseases and all of these different autoimmune diseases, is that our body is not able to detoxify all of these environmental changes that are out there. And when our body can't detoxify, when our body doesn't work appropriately, these autoimmune diseases cause overinflammation because our body starts to attack itself. Our immune system sees that there's something wrong and it can't identify the good cells from the bad cells. And so it attacks all the cells. And that's where your rheumatoid arthritis comes from. And that's where your fibromyalgia comes from. And that's where all of these long-term names come from that these doctors can't figure out, because they're trying to fix the symptom, not the root cause. The root cause is we are what we eat. So if you're mindful of the things that you eat, if you take a food allergy test, if you use a food journal, if you eat whole foods, if you eat plants, if you eat fruits and vegetables, if you eliminate processed foods and refined sugars, just like we did to help clear the fog for our son who developed a regressive, severe form of autism, where his brain couldn't work appropriately. That was the mystery that we had to unsolve. So those are the two reasons why CBD doesn't work. And so long as you're getting a great product that is a great representation of the hemp cannabis plant in the whole plant form, and you're taking enough of it, and everyone's bodies are different, everyone's receptors are different, you need to make sure you're taking enough for your endocannabinoid system to be fully supplemented. Some people, it can be as little as 5 or 10 milligrams a day. Some people need 50 to 100 milligrams a day, and some days are better and some days are worse than others. But the trick is to continue to find what works best for you and stay consistent. And I have never once seen anybody who used our products, our whole plant cold pressed product, consistently and increased levels as needed, that they didn't get some benefit from it. Because it's just like eating a good salad, a good healthy diet every day, and going to the gym and drinking water and getting good sleep and being mindful and having good meditation and positive thoughts and surrounding yourself with positive people. If you do those things, I promise you're going to be in a better place, because that's what gives us the holistic approach to having that healthy life and that positive vibe. So those are the specifics that I wanted to cover today. And we got Dan the man who's out there in San Francisco who just watched his daughter swim across San Francisco Bay out there on Alcatraz, which is quite incredible. And so congratulations to her, and pretty amazing. Good for her, right?
Yeah, guys, sorry I can't really talk because there's a lot of background noise still from here. But yeah, we're out at Alcatraz. Just got done with the swim. Crazy how choppy the water is. Unbelievable. But congratulations to all the people that swam here. It was quite an event. Congratulations to everybody. I'm going to be mostly on mute, though, because of noise in the background noise. Sorry.
No worries. I'm just happy you were able to make it in and that your daughter safely made it across. And I'm sure she'll have a story to tell. And we also have Dan's son, Jamie, who's co-producing as well today out there in New York. He's about to make the cross-country trip out here to Los Angeles soon. And we also have LaTara here, who's coming back here on the Miracle Plant podcast. And LaTara, does CBD really work?
Good morning, Justin, Jamie, and Dan. Hello, people. Yes, I am a living witness that CBD does really work, along with other people in my family. I'm truly happy to be here. And I would love, Justin, if you could talk about the endocannabinoid system, because I think we need to start with the root of our bodies and explaining how the CBD, the endocannabinoid system works. I think it's all about educating, like how you were talking to us about how it works and how it's broken down in the body and how we get all these different diseases from the environment. Because I was told that actually what I have, which is multiple sclerosis, comes from the environment, comes from certain areas that you live in. And I'm not sure how true that is. I know I have it, but I do know that my quality of life is way, way more better because of the fact that I'm taking this CBD every day. And so I'm so thankful for 101 CBD, so thankful for my circle, and thankful that I have a mind open to trying different things. Because like you said, these drugs, they just help with the symptoms. They don't help resolve it. But I do know from my neurologist said, when my neurologist looked at my MRI, and he said, "What have you been doing?" Because he said it looked like the lesions on my brain had actually shrunk in size. I'm going to say that again. The lesions in my brain had shrunk in size, and they had not spread it more in other spots in my brain, and nor has it spread it onto my spine. Because some people with multiple sclerosis get the lesions on their spine. Mines are just there. And I'm hoping that as I take CBD every day, they continue to shrink. So yes, CBD does really work.
Oh, that's good to hear, and I know it works, and I know it works, and I know Dan and Jamie knows it works. But unfortunately, only about 20% of the United States has tried CBD based on a recent study. And of those 20% of the people that have tried CBD, which is roughly 60 million people, 30 million people have had a positive experience and would recommend it to a friend or family member. Unfortunately, the other 30 million didn't necessarily have either had a neutral or not a positive experience, didn't notice any real effect. And as we talked about earlier, the two reasons why CBD doesn't work, because it's also saying because CBD is in broccoli and kale and our bodies make it naturally, and it's also in breast milk. So it's like saying CBD doesn't work. It's like also saying eating healthy salads doesn't work. Well, that's just simply not true, because we all know that's how our body works. When you give it the right building blocks, when you give it the right nutrition, our body works perfectly, just like when you're a 7-year-old and you get a scratch, and then the next morning you wake up and the scratch is magically gone, because our body intuitively knows how to heal itself. So to talk about the endocannabinoid system, there are 2 receptor sites that most people know about, and we'll start with those. And sometimes I struggle with how far down the rabbit hole I should go on this show, because I've dedicated my life to research and understanding this plant so I can best understand it and explain it to all types of people, including doctors and researchers, so I can talk the talk with them. Some people are very technical, and they need to understand every little minute detail and intricacy. So I want to be fully prepared and be able to speak the language of whoever it is that I come across, whether it's when we're bumping into Dr. Raphael Meshulam at a show, or Dr. Ethan Russo at CanMed coming up here in Pasadena, in September. I want to be able to speak their language, but I know for a lot of people, it can be a little too technical. So I struggle sometimes with how far down I should discuss this. But the endocannabinoid system, as you asked about, LaTara, most people who understand have some understanding of the endocannabinoid system. First of all, every animal has the endocannabinoid system within them. We discovered it in the early 1990s. The endocannabinoid system is throughout our whole body and brain. It helps regulate our other systems in the body, hormonal, endocrine, skeleton, you name it. The endocannabinoid system is the system that balances other systems. I always sometimes like to refer to it as a thermostat. And so if the body gets out of whack, whether it's hormones or what have you, then or whatever it is, those levels can rise. So that the thermostat set at 72 degrees, but for whatever reason, the systems are out of place, whether it's environmental or not drinking enough water or whatever, and then the temperature starts to rise to 85 degrees and your system's out of whack. If you're supplementing your endocannabinoid system with cannabinoids like CBD, if it's fully supplemented, and our own body makes CBD, cannabidiol in the form, we call it, when our body makes it, an endocannabinoid. That's the endocannabinoid system. We call it 2-AG. It's a really long word. And so as we get older, or we have an environmental issue, or we have an injury, or we have an illness, sometimes our bodies can't keep up and make enough CBD or cannabinoids to balance everything out. And that's when we need to supplement our bodies to make sure we're getting enough cannabinoid. And the best way to do that is to consume the hemp plant or the cannabis plant to help get those cannabinoid system levels up. So there's 2 receptor sites that most people know about who have anything to know about endocannabinoid system. That's the CB1 and the Cb2 receptor sites. So now these CB1 receptor sites, part of the endocannabinoid system, are located in the brain. So this is where when you take our products or a sublingual oil, which we recommend to hold under your tongue for at least 5 minutes, when you hold it there for 5 to 7 minutes under your tongue, it goes directly into your blood. You have sublingual glands that go directly into your blood. That's why baseball players chew tobacco there. It goes right into your blood, bypassing digestion. Anything that goes through digestion gets broken down by the liver, the stomach acid, the kidneys, and the absorption rate is somewhere around 5%. So if you hold it under your tongue for at least 5 to 7 minutes, you can get up to 70% absorption rate, 14 times stronger by holding it under your tongue. So now you've got it into your blood. It goes into your blood, holding it under your tongue. The whole plant, the CBDA oil, goes up to your brain, looks for anything that's out of whack in your CB1 receptors. Now that's where the anxiety comes from. That's where the sleep issues come from. That's where MS and autism and epilepsy, those things are all neurological. CBD and a whole plant CBDA actually has been proven to be a neuroregenerative. It can help restore, it can help reconnect, it can help remake neurotransmitters and regenerate nerves. That's what that means. And that's what happened with my son. That's what's happening with LaTara and her daughter. So when you take that sublingual oil and it goes up into your brain and it interacts with those CB1 receptors, that's when we see these miracles with all of these really complicated ailments like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It helps reset the brain to just like it was when it was a 7-year-old. Our body can do this on its own. And the cannabis, the miracle plant, the hemp plant can also help our body do this neuroregenerative type work. So that's where the first site is that most people heard about. It's called the CB1 receptor sites up in the brain. Now, after that, it'll go down to the rest of our body. And there's the second receptor site in the endocannabinoid system that most people know about. It's called the Cb2 receptors. Now, these receptors are all throughout the body, but mostly in our immune system, in our gut health. So now when you take that and it goes through the blood and it goes down to our Cb2 receptor site, like 80% of our immune system and even our hormones and our emotions and all of those types of things are located and are created in our immune system, in our gut health. And again, with our son, what we had to do to clear out the fog and the pesticides and the heavy metals and everything environmentally that he was exposed to, we had to get his gut health happy. We had to make sure his probiotics were fired up and good. We had to make sure that pre-probiotic, which was eating things like beans and legumes, we had to make sure that there was nothing negative that was going into his system, no processed foods, no refined sugars, no No cheese or dairy or gluten or any of that stuff that gums up the network, gums up the brain, gums up the body from working the way it needs to work. No pesticides, no, everything needs to be organic. We need to eat like we would 300 years ago, right? When we had our own garden in the backyard. So now when you've got that CBD and connecting and talking to the Cb2 receptors, it's looking for things that are out of whack. Now, a lot of people will come to us and they'll say, look, I've got back pain. I want to take CBD because I heard it helps with back pain. Our body, again, because it knows how to heal itself, has its own priority list, like a top 10, just like David Letterman back in the day. Now, the number one might be back pain for me, but your body's, look, your liver is not working right. So the first thing that it's going to do when it gets this extra supplementation to the Cb2 receptors in your endocannabinoid system is start to fix the liver, because your body knows what's wrong and it knows what it needs to fix first. So once it gets the liver working better, then it can start to look at what's next. How is your kidneys working? How's your heart working? How's your brain working? And getting all of the really top priority issues fixed. And then it might get to the back pain, which is, again, why you need to consistently take enough of a hemp cannabis whole plant product for long enough for you to get the results that you wanted, even though the whole time your body was using what it was getting in the way what it needed, and it knew that it needed to fix. So
if I could just say something, I think you did absolutely wonderful. I believe that this is going to be something that we're going to have to discuss and discuss over and over again to get the world to understand that we have all that we need right here to heal our bodies, and that we don't have to be addicted to things and be on opioids and things like that. So just wanted to recap too and let you know what I learned in school was that we do have CB1 and CB2 receptors that are located in the cells of our eyes, our heart, the stomach, the pancreas, and most importantly to me is that digestive tract, like how you was talking about the gut. And then there's also CB1 and CB2 receptors in our bones. I can tell you that years ago I had my gallbladder removed. And when I had my gallbladder removed, after I started getting so many different issues with my stomach, because we know we can live without some of the organs inside of our bodies, but it's better if we have all of them, but we can still function without some, and that replaces something else. So some issues start happening with the body, right? I was having all kind of issues with my stomach, Justin. And since I've been consistently taking the CBD, I don't have those same issues because I know that it's because of the endocannabinoid system and because of these receptors that we have in our digestive system. When I learned in school, I was like, oh, wait, the CB1 and the CB2 receptors are with the digestive tract. I said, that's probably why my stomach is feeling so much better. But like I said, I can get really scientific as well when it comes to the endocannabinoid system, because when I learned that this was something that I was not taught in college. This was something that I was not taught in grammar school or high school. It really made me sad because I was thinking about all of the young people out there and all of the older people out there who get sick and they don't even know that they have everything that they need when it comes to the miracle plant. Like literally this plant helps to resolve all of these different health issues. It just really made me so sad. And that is why I'm here as a brand ambassador. I'm here as a cannabis advocate. I'm here to just help tell the world, look, there's a better way. And I'm living proof that the CBD really does work. For my neurologist to tell me that those lesions on my brain are shrunk, come on, for our kids to be doing better, your son to be healed and no longer diagnosed with autism, and my daughter almost being there, this is just, I'm excited. Like, I'm really excited just because I just want to just keep talking about this because I feel like this is why people don't understand why CBD works, because they don't know that we have an endocannabinoid system. They don't know that they're have an endocannabinoid system. That's my next class coming up at UNLV. It was cannabis and pets. So I'm going to be learning way more about pets, but just knowing the difference that we have these receptors and we have these neurotransmitters that help bring homeostasis and help bring balance to our bodies. It's just absolutely amazing. And I just want to shout it out and just tell everybody, don't you have everything that you need? Just get you some CBD, get you some THC, and it's going to help you heal. I just want to just help everybody and just shout it out all over the world. So that's why I was like, keep me on as a moderator for the Miracle Plant. I'm going to always be here. I'm going to be here every Saturday morning talking with you and everybody else about how we can spread knowledge and help our mission to get people healed with the CBD, because it really does.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad you're here to share your story, and I'm just happy that you found the Miracle Plant, and I know you found us through the Autism Hope Alliance, which we partnered with, and you're the reason why we have this mission to pay it forward for what this Miracle Plant did for our son, is to educate, teach, and offer free products to families to try for themselves and for their families, and you're a living example of what our mission is, and now you've made it your mission to continue to pay it forward. And one family at a time, we're on a mission to heal the world. You also brought something up, which I wanted to talk about, which I'm glad you brought up, is that our pets, our animals, all animals, but specifically our pets, our cats and our dogs, have endocannabinoid systems. And my Lord, the stories that we hear from pet owners who use our products, we have a product that's bacon flavored. It's a vegan bacon flavoring. It's all organic, that they use for their pets for the same reasons that we use it for ourselves. I mean, not as much sleep issues, like that's number 3 for humans. Number 1 is pain, and that's the same for dogs and cats as well. So joints and pains as they get older. Number 2 is anxiety and stress for humans, and it's probably pretty close for pets as well. But probably number 2, honestly, for us is there's separation anxiety for dogs and cats, mostly dogs. But it's cancer is probably number 2 that we see people, and then epilepsy for dogs is probably number 3. And so that's when there's no such thing as a placebo effect with a dog, right? They don't have the conscious mind to say, is this working, right? They just know they're completely in tune with their bodies. And if there's pain, they will limp because they're completely in tune with their body. If there isn't pain, they'll put pressure down on their legs. And that's why we've seen so many incredible stories and heard so many incredible stories from pet owners that have a dog who's getting older, up in age, 10 or 12, and not getting around like they used to, or can't get up on the couch and all these things. And they'll come and take our product, and they'll give them the sublingual oil 2 or 3 times a day. And lo and behold, they're jumping up on the couch, and some of the neighbors will be like, I haven't seen that dog in 3 years. And so we've seen incredible things with that. Again, with epilepsy and seizures, we've seen and heard incredible stories with that. With cancer, and we see a lot of people that have come to us and they'll try it basically just for quality of life for the dog, but then lo and behold, the dog gets better. And look, everyone's different. Try it for yourself and see. We do offer a compassionate discount for any of these tough ailments and things like that of 50% off, so you can reach out to us and we'll make sure that you're taken care of as well. So there's also the 4th of July that's coming up. Firecrackers and fireworks are all starting to go off. And dogs don't like that. It freaks them out and it gets them scared. They don't like thunderstorms and they don't like fireworks. And so we have that bacon flavored CBD that really helps calm them down, and for cats too. Make sure you're on our email list. If you go to 101cbd.org or 101hemp.org, get on our email list. We're going to send out some amazing promotions that'll get this great product at a great deal, and you'll be able to make sure that your pet can get through the holidays without a bunch of fear and a bunch of anxiety. So we also have on the stage here, Jennifer, did you have a question or anything we can do to help? We're recording the Miracle Plant show, and happy to have you be a part of it.
Hi, yes, my name is Jennifer. I was just listening to your conversation, which I find to be amazing. I was actually diagnosed with Parkinson's at a very young age. All into healthy alternative things that can help. I've tried everything. Everything that you're saying, I've learned about, I've read about, I've empowered my mind with the knowledge to understand that Parkinson's is something that I can possibly reverse if by doing so many different things. So I've tried different CBDs. My only problem is that I find sometimes it makes me a little tired and it makes me not want to really do much after I take it. Now, I heard your conversation saying that it's something that you have to take consistently in order for it to actually do the job. So I'm sorry for making you repeat anything, but I don't know if you spoke about Parkinson's, but I would just love to hear any information you have regarding Parkinson's. Thank you. I'm complete.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on stage, and I'm excited to hear that you're on the right path and looking for the solution and the holistic and eating right and thinking you'll get there. We've had a lot of people that have come to us with Parkinson's, and there's a lot of great research on Parkinson's and this miracle plant, cannabis, hemp, whatever you want to call it. Just so you know, like the whole sleeping thing, you always want to make sure what's in the products. So some products are meant for sleep, and some products higher levels of THC. And you have to understand which cannabinoids work best for you. In general, we love CBDA, which is raw CBD that the plant makes. We don't heat it or burn off the A like many others do. We leave it just like you would if you were going to make celery juice. In fact, we even teach you how to grow it in your backyard. We'll throw some free hemp seeds in your order and show you some courses of how to grow it. And you can still plant it this year if you want. That's the first thing that I would say. We also have another product called Boost. So Boost, we make with the high CBDA, but we also use a plant that has high CBGA, which is the mother cannabinoid, cannabigerol. And for me, when I take CBGA, I notice it gives me focus, mental clarity, and energy. And also in the Boost X sublingual oil, and we add a little American ginseng is an adaptogen and can help give people energy for the gym or get out of bed. And so people will like that as well. So if that's something that you're struggling with, that would probably be my first recommendation is number one, look at the products that you're using, see what's in there, look at their COA, Certificate of Analysis, to understand how many cannabinoids, what are the levels, what are the other things that are in there. Number two, I would experiment finding a product and finding the right cannabinoid that works best for you. And yeah, those would be my recommendations. And feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to send you one for free for you to try. And because I always say the proof's in the pudding. We're not here to make $1 billion. We're here to reach 1 billion people by 2025. So does that answer your question, or do you have any other?
No, that does answer my question. I do take a lot of natural organic supplements. My issue is not really fatigue per se, but what it is more, I'm trying to, calm the tremors without having to take too many medications, and which I'm not on that many medications. And I just want to avoid that, obviously, because I'm still young. And the walking sometimes is a little bit of an issue, but I have found when I do take the CBD oil, it does help with the tremors and with the walking. But I think I just have to take it on a consistent basis. But yes, I would love to connect with you and just learn more about your products. I love the fact that you just said there's a possibility to grow our own. So that sounds really interesting to me as well. So yeah, thank you. This is all really valuable, helpful information.
Thanks for coming on stage, and keep fighting the good fight, and keep envisioning the outcome that you want. Because if you tell the brain what you want in a clear, focused way, the brain and the body and the universe will provide it. That's how it works. That's how this system works out here. So you're surrounding yourself with people that have that same vision, that lift you up. And I know there's a lot of great people out here and great organizations and clubs here on Clubhouse. So yeah, please come back. Let us know. I would just reach out to me in my DMs and Instagram at Justin for Hemp, and I'll shoot you a free sample and some seeds. And it's completely legal to grow hemp in all 50 states. And it's not that hard. It's not as easy as growing grass, let's say, but it's about the same level as growing tomatoes. And when you start growing it in your backyard, you can actually juice it yourself. We use a mega juicer, and you can put it in with your carrots and your celery and your citrus, and make your fresh cannabis juice every morning and get all those cannabinoids in there. You don't even have to buy the products from us. Again, our mission is to educate, offer free products, free seeds, so people can try them for themselves and really start to understand this plant and all of its amazing healing properties. And really what it's doing is helping our body heal. And like I said, the body knows how to heal. So did you have something to say, LaTara?
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage Jennifer to go ahead and try the 101 CBD oil, just because of the fact that I'm living proof that it helps if you have any type of disease or anything in the body that we're fighting against on a daily basis. I have multiple sclerosis, and I've been using 101 CBD for 2 years now. And I had shared before you came on how my neurologist looked at my test result from my MRI, and it showed where my lesions in my brain hemisphere of my brain and how they had actually shrunk in size. Usually when you have a person that have multiple sclerosis, they start out with lesions on the brain and the spine, and they usually spread and get bigger. So again, I'm living proof that it will help you. Also, too, my daughter has a tremor that kind of mimics Parkinson, and she's been had it since she was about maybe 6 years old. She actually started having them right after she was diagnosed with epilepsy. And my daughter is now 18. Me and her both have been using 101 CBD for the last few years, and she doesn't even have that tremor anymore. So I just wanted to encourage you to just get it. Just try it. I don't know what you've been using, but the Alleviate would probably be good. And then for those days that you do feel sleepy or you have fatigue or your energy is just a low, then you could get the boost, because I use them and they're literally just helping me have a better quality of life. I'm working outside the home now. I'm getting ready to go back to school. Like, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to function without this CBD. So please try it. I just want to encourage you.
Yes, no, I thank you for that story. That actually gives me a lot of hope. Being diagnosed so young, it was really difficult, and I've gotten to a good place in my life where I'm just motivated, have a very positive attitude, like you guys were just saying. It's about the power of the spoken word too, and how much you believe in yourself to reach your goals and to succeed and to just reverse this and live a healthy quality of life. And that's what I'm aiming. And I try to do that every single day. I say to myself, I wake up stronger than I am today, than I was yesterday, and I'm going to keep going. But I love learning information, empowering myself. Yes, I'm definitely going to try this. And I thank you all for this information. This has definitely changed my day today. So thank you.
Thank you. It
Absolutely.
makes me feel good. I'm sorry, Justin. It makes me feel good too, to be here. Justin is like a big brother to me. I'm still learning about things, but I have gone to school and I got a few certifications under my belt. I'm going to be continuing my education so that I can help people. Anytime I speak to somebody and share my story and someone tells me, oh wow, that really has encouraged me to go ahead and try it, it makes me feel like I've done a good job. So thank you so much for that. Thanks, Justin, for letting me speak.
Oh, absolutely. I love having you on and hearing your stories. And it's one person at a time, one family at a time. And I'm just grateful that we have Clubhouse, this platform, the Miracle Plant Show on Apple. And we have our own community on Facebook too, which is Heal the World. And that's what we do at the end of every meeting and at the end of every show. We're going to wrap up right here. And all what you do is you unmute your mics and I'm going to count to 3 and we're going to yell out Heal the World, because that's what our mission is to do, is to reach 1 million people by 2025. And we're going to send that energy out and look for those people that are looking for a solution, that are looking for a miracle, that are looking for hope, just like Jennifer. And she found us, and now we need to find more. So on the count of 3, say Heal the World, because that's our mission here at 101 CBD and the Miracle Plant Show. And I want to thank everybody for coming. Make sure you like this podcast, review it so others can find it and share it. And tell somebody about this miracle plant. You never know, you could change a life forever. So on the count of 3, let's say Heal the World. 1, 2, 3. Heal the world!
And happy Father's Day to all of that.